Well, 2023. This year has had some bangers. Spider-Man 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, the Resident Evil 4 remake, and so many more. But 2023 has also had a pretty crap year. Gollum, Skull Island, Walking Dead, Redfall, and just so many more bad games. So I thought I'd do the best and worst platinums that I've achieved this year. Now these platinums aren't necessarily games that are released this year, but more so platinums that I've done in 2023. So maybe give you guys an idea of what platinums to do next year and what ones just to completely avoid. Also, let me know your favourite and least favourite platinums that you achieved this year in the comments down below. So let's just rip the plaster off and start with the worst platinums that I've done this year.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Starting with Mafia 3. Now this is a truly fantastic game to cap off a great trilogy of games, so I do hate to add this to the worst platinums. It's just too bad that the definitive edition is a completely broken mess, especially if you have it on download, which most people do as it was free a few months back. You cannot quit off the game. You have to do multiple complete runs without closing the game. The game is prone to crashing, and if the game shuts down, you lose the ability to earn any end game trophies. So I was having to put in 8 to 15 hour just non-stop play sessions to earn this platinum. Now while it's a great game, that is too much stress just to rely on the fates of please don't close down, please don't crash, so that's why it's here. And now to a newer release with Saints Row 2022. I mean, do I need to say much more than just the name of it? One of the most boring and generic stories I have ever played, an empty, boring world. And honestly, they completely and utterly lost their Saints Row soul. And now the company is bankrupt and gone. And this is truly disappointing. I really enjoyed some of the older Saints Row games, Saints Row the Third being my favourite, and I know a lot of you guys did. When I made my video, so many of you commented that Saints Row is a huge part of your childhood, and to see this go this way is devastating. Now it would be higher on the list in the top 3, but the platinum is generally quite easy. You just have to get over the boredom. There is an online trophy which is super annoying, but the platinum itself isn't that brain rotting. It's just the game is brain rotting. But then we get into the next one, and this one hits home for me. Anthem. This was a game that I was so excited about. I promised my friends it would be the next big thing, that it would be epic. It would be like nothing they'd ever seen before. I pre-ordered, I was ready, and boy, was it a letdown. And going for the platinum made it even worse. Completely broken loot drops where I had to play endless, mindless missions just to get one weapon on one of my titans to be able to complete some challenges. It wasn't like I needed a legendary one, I just needed a base weapon. It was more of a base ability, but there was a known glitch that if you had leveled up a bit too much, you were going to struggle to get those base items. It was a mess. Not to mention the collectibles are beyond bugged, forcing me to spend up to 6 hours running the same loop to pick up the same collectibles, as collectibles are RNG based. They're completely random on if you can find them, but that does mean you can pick up the same collectibles from the same area and it will count as a different collectible. I mean, whose idea is that? Don't have collectible based challenges for trophies if they are completely random where some may just not spawn in. Completely disappointed in this game, and this is not a platinum I recommend going for. I think you guys knew this was going to be here, Avengers. In a couple of years, this game will be forgotten. This is a brain-dead fetch quest simulator with an awful script and a couple of good voice actors who tried to put lipstick on a pig, filled with nothing but filler content and nothing more. The platinum is a test in repetition and how much patience you have before you snap your disc or your console. The looting system is really not as good as people make it out to be. It is just the same 5 items on repeat, just rarer. The platinum wanting you to do things like the Hive missions 50 times is ridiculous. And now I never normally say this because I am a believer in gaming is subjective and you enjoy what you enjoy. But I saw a lot of people saying that this is one of their favourite games. And I'm sorry, but people enjoying and supporting a game like this is why we keep getting lower quality products as gamers. This game really tried for easy equals fun, or on the top difficulty, sponge enemies equal a fun challenge. And that's just not the case. I understand if you have a full squad that you play with, it may be fun then. But as a full-priced game and a platinum experience, this is awful. And finally, my worst platinum of 2023, and I think you guys knew this was here, Gollum. Now, quite possibly the worst game of 2023. If not the worst, then it's definitely in the top 3. There is nothing good about this game. The platinum is annoying and not as easy as it should be for how bad this game is. The fact you have to do a no death run is ludicrous. The fact you have to do collectibles is ludicrous. If the platinum was really easy, it was a 30-minute platinum or a 5-hour platinum, fine. The game is crap. I hated every second of it. This game was bought by very few people, but trashed by everybody, which as a gaming community is great to see. I was so happy that people were just dogging this game, and the fact that some people, including myself, paid money for it, hurts me every day. Now we can get into the good stuff, my best and favourite platinums of the year. Now before we get into them, I want to give one honourable mention, and that's to Spider-Man 2. Now the reason it's not in my top like 5 or 6 platinums of the year is because we all knew this was going to be an epic game. The platinum is pretty much a gimme, the same as the other Spider-Man games, and it wasn't a surprise that we loved it. It will most likely win Game of the Year, and to be honest, most of us probably have the platinum on it. Spider-Man 2 is a brilliant experience, but I wanted to have my list filled with other games. Now this game just squeaked it onto the list instead of being an honourable mention, and that is Sleeping Dogs. An absolute classic. It still holds up today, and it hurts that we won't see a sequel. The story is brilliant, characters fantastic, platinum is a lot of fun, and somewhat a decent challenge. The only downside is if you don't own it, you have to buy the game through the PlayStation app on your phone and then download it onto your PS5 via the console. It's no longer available to be bought through the PlayStation Store on the console itself, which is ridiculous, but I believe it's something to do with crashes and game breaking bugs. Personally, didn't experience any of those, but I know that some people did. Now this next one is completely owed to you guys, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy, a game that I did not trust. I just platinumed the Avengers game after you guys told me to do it, and then you guys told me to platinum another Marvel game, which was Guardians of the Galaxy. I truly didn't trust you, but I thought, you know what, let's go for it. And wow, I was blown away. Not only is the story and the game itself fantastic, as well as the characters, the platinum is a lot of fun. It gets you to use all of the tools from all of the characters. It gets you to explore every level and all of the maps, as well as get collectibles, have interactions that you otherwise may not have. And honestly, this is how a superhero group game should be made. It works well, you can play as who you want. The story is interesting and engaging, and certain battles require certain uses of the teamwork. A fantastic game and a really enjoyable platinum. Now this next one might not be everybody's cup of tea, but that is Dead Island 2. Now I know there were some bugs that ruined the trophies for people, such as reaching the max level. I know that that was a really big issue when this game came out, but I personally had little to no issues with the game, luckily, and I pretty much enjoyed my whole experience with it. Now after quite a few updates throughout the year, it's a game that I truly recommend you guys try. If you enjoyed the previous Dead Islands, I know that you'll enjoy this. I don't think this will be in many people's top 5 or top 10 for the year, but for me, this is a game I really enjoyed. It was an easy game, it was fun, it was relaxing, you could kick back, just batter some zombies. You had to do a few fun things for the platinum. Overall, it was an experience that I really enjoyed and would recommend to you guys once the game goes on sale for a little bit under, I'd probably say 35 to 30 quid. Once it's under that, I definitely recommend you go for it. Now this game is a super recent entry, and that is the Arkham Knight. Without a doubt, my favourite of the Arkham games. Nothing that was insanely challenging in the base game, but it had a nice challenge for it in terms of a rewarding platinum. The Batmobile was epic, the story incredible, characters incredible, it visually was amazing. Most of the trophies came through side missions or story, which are all worth doing. Nothing felt painful or dragged other than of course the Riddler collectibles. But overall, an incredible platinum experience, and this is a game that I do recommend. Even if you haven't played the other Batman games, I think that everybody will be able to enjoy Arkham Knight. Maybe you won't enjoy the Batmobile like I did, but from my experience, I thought the Batmobile just added a whole nother level, and I really enjoyed using the Batmobile throughout my time with this game. Overall, a fantastic platinum experience. Now we're into the final two, and I think these might surprise you. So my second favourite platinum of this year was Stray. I know, a bit of a shocker, but for an indie title, it is a perfect game. There is nothing more I can say than it is a perfect game. It is cheap, it is fun, it can be replayed again and again and again if you want. It requires 2 playthroughs for the platinum anyways. One of them is a speed run, so you have to at least, that for me is a whole nother fun challenge. You have to memorize certain levels and navigate the map quickly, navigate the game quickly. It can be done in 10 hours, or it can be enjoyed and explored over 20 to 30 hours. It is the perfect, easy, relaxing game with a fun trophy list, a fun concept, an enjoyable story, and just funnily enough, even though you play as a cat, some really fun characters that you meet throughout the world. It is a stunning game and a platinum that I cannot recommend enough. I personally would have paid full price, and I did. But if you guys see it under 20 quid or 15 quid or under, you got to get it. Trust me, you'll love it. Also, I saw people saying, I'm not a cat guy, so I won't enjoy it. It's a video game. I'm not an assassin, but that doesn't mean I don't like to play the Assassin's Creed games. It's ridiculous. Trust me, it's a fun, relaxing game. It doesn't matter if you're a cat person or not. And in at number 1, my favorite platinum of the year. I want you guys just to have a quick guess. Just think to yourself really quickly, what platinum would it be? And that is Mafia 1 Definitive Edition. Quite possibly one of my favorite remakes. Absolutely stunning. Incredible story, incredible ending, amazing characters. It doesn't drag. It is arguably a perfect experience in modern day gaming. I struggle to find an issue with it. You get to play the game through twice if you want to. If not, you can just stick it on hard right off the bat. I played it through twice because I wanted to take my time the first playthrough and then do it on hard the second playthrough. It feels incredible. It still holds up today, even though the remake is relatively recent. And it's a game that I highly, highly recommend. When I first loaded up, I couldn't believe how stunning it was. And for the rest of the year, I genuinely compared every game visually, as well as feeling, as well as how the story was written to this game. Mafia 1 is an absolutely incredible experience. One of my favourite platinums that I've ever done, let alone just this year. And arguably my favourite platinum of the year. And finally, I want to give a quick shout out to a sleeper platinum of the year, RoboCop. A game that I expected to be awful, but ended up enjoying it all the way through. It is a bit short, but the game does work well. It's simple, it works well, you get to do some fun side missions, and it's a game I recommend. If you ever see it below 20 quid, buy it. But I would not buy it for the full price, because it is a bit short. It can be done in 12 hours. It can be done in about 8 hours. So I don't honestly recommend buying it for full price, but if you ever see it on offer at 50% off, then I would recommend getting it. But as always, I really appreciate you guys watching the videos. This has been a great year for me, and you guys have shown me nothing but insane love and support throughout the year. I will be doing a full recap of all the platinums that I do have at the start of 2024. And as I said at the start, let me know your favourite and least favourite platinums in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.